Okie dokie. Well, here we are again with the VRAAM show. Lee Kreider here, who's the producer. I've got Jim over here, who's become my able assistant during this time. Hi, Jim. How are you?
Very good. How about yourself, sir?
I'm doing well. I got a pretty decent sleep last night for a change.
That's awesome.
And I don't think you did you?
No, we were on the bikes till midnight, riding the 60.
Okay, very well. Well, our guest here this evening is Rupert Guinness in Australia, who had a lot to do with getting this VRAAM going. But before that, we want to make sure that if you're watching us on the Facebook page, be sure to give us a like and a follow there, and you'll get notices of future shows. The same thing if you're watching us on YouTube. Be sure to go down there and just hit that subscribe button, and you'll be sure of getting notices of future shows. With that, we're going to bring our friend Rupert Guinness in from Australia. How are you, Rupert?
Very good, thanks, Jim. Oh, sorry, Lee, and good day, Jim.
Good day to you, sir.
Yeah.
Well, Jim here had a lot to do with getting the time stations going. If you heard the Rick and George show this morning, he was on there. You're becoming quite a celebrity, Jim.
I guess I'm getting over my fear of being on camera too, so I guess that's good.
If you knew Jim, Rupert, that's quite an accomplishment. Because when I was photographing or videographing the race down there at the time stations, I'd have to chase him around. I'd catch him when he wasn't looking. But it's not too painful, is it, Jim?
No, I'm getting used to it. It's getting better and better.
Well,
I think Jim's settling in there. He looks pretty good to me.
There you go. We're trying. Thank you, Rupert.
Jim is doing the 60 along with April. She's over there somewhere, I suppose. Or
actually, she's upstairs cooking dinner right now.
Oh, now, well, we won't get into that.
There you go.
That sounds good. Now, Jim ain't going to tell you this, but April beats his butt almost every day on the 60.
Oh, she's outside. We go for an easy ride, and I say, let's keep it about 17 or 18. We're doing 22, 25. She's very type A.
Okay. Well, we got Ashley Gebby in here. Got good, loud and clear. Everything. So I'm glad that. I see Chris O'Keefe comes in, and that reminds me, I can't always see who joins and who's viewing. I can see some, but not all, and I can't see anybody that's viewing on YouTube. So if you're out there, just hit that comment line at the bottom of both videos. If you don't have a question or a comment, just say hi, so we'll know you're there. And Chris, we're glad to see you here. Hey, Chris, give us a text here. We got a question for you. Rupert, so how's it going? Where are you at?
Okay, well, everything's going really well, actually. Obviously these days you have your highs and lows, but here it's Saturday in Sydney, and we've had overnight rain. Of course, indoors here, I'm nice and dry except for the sweat on me. but look, I think I'm right now. I'm riding on the. I'm in the Constant Kona section block 15 of the route, and I'm on the Ironman route, approaching the halfway mark at Harvey, and I feel pretty good. Nice tempo. It was a bit hard at the start. I just had a short sleep and getting the old legs going again. That's the most painful part. But once you get into the routine, I feel pretty good. A new dawn, and some local cyclists have dropped in as they're going past in their group. So, that's good for the morale as well.
Definitely.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. You're there in an auto dealership, are you not?
Exactly, yeah. It's a Mercedes dealership called G Brothers in Mona Vale, which is just in the Northern Beaches area of Sydney. And literally within less than a kilometre, or probably 500 metres, is a beautiful beach, really nice coastline. Of course, I can't see it. I can only imagine it. But occasionally in between rides, I when I take a break, a nature break, I'll walk out to the road and just sort of get a glimpse of traffic again. For all these times that you rude traffic, you sort of miss it when you're stuck inside for so long.
Definitely.
Is that your support van there behind you?
Yeah, well, I just knocked over the coffee cup. Just here, there's the RV, the Let's Go RV, which is in which I sleep or have my nap. There goes one of my support crew, Sally Heckenbotham, and there is a support car. So we've sort of tried to put a VRAAM mood into things by setting it up so we've got the support cars behind us, just to create a bit of fun. If it's going to be virtual, you might as well try and make it as virtual as possible.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's all fun and games,
Chris O'Keefe is in here. Chris, weren't you going to do RAM or Raw this year? What were you going to do? Tell us. Let us know. I kind of forget. Something like that. So what have you learned, Rupert?
How long's a piece of string? They'll probably be like just working backwards when the dust settles, and next week I'll probably think of a lot more things. But firsthand, I've learned I've really been able to experiment or learn more about efficiency with nutritional patterns and sleeping patterns. Also, probably time wasting. Mind you, I guess I like getting off the bike because when the bike is stationary, it's nice to get off and go to the bathroom and sort of wander off. My support crew sort of keep an eye on me. If I take 2 strides away from the route to the toilet, they're onto me saying, "Where are you going?" Like I'm trying to make some escape. But I've learned a lot of that. It's been really good for my I guess experience in doing 12 days of back-to-back riding. For 18 to 20 hours a day. I think I needed it. And, however, the fallout of what VRAAM was about, I've managed to get a good block of riding under competition in a competition environment, which I think will put me in good, better stead for next year than if we didn't have VRAAM on.
Yeah.
We also learned, so it's also been really good for our crew. As you guys know so well, the importance of crews. And, if I was going to do RAM this year, I was a RAM rookie. And there's a whole bunch of experience with that, but also for our crew. Even though we're not mobile, it's been a great platform for them to be able to work with each other, learn their roles, and make great solid friendships. And also for them to be able to anticipate, not just wait for me to say I need something or I'm in that sort of mood swing or whatever. They can actually anticipate it, and so you're getting that blend within the group, which is really good. And everybody's been really open to learning and not taking not so much criticism, but it's more everyone's trying to learn, and that's been a real heartening thing to see. So I understand how RAM is a team. Even if you're a solo entrant, you need the team to get there. So I'm really excited about what we can work off from this race for next year.
Okay, very well. Well, you're writing for a charity. I know that because we had you on the show earlier. And you want to tell us a little bit about what you're writing for here?
Yeah, look, the overriding cause first is to heighten awareness for mental health. And no matter what charity, mental health, even outside of charities, mental health is such an important factor in our lives, as we all know, with current events, with COVID and all social political issues and everything that all countries are experiencing their own way. Mental health is one of the consequences where we need to create awareness for, because everyone's impacted that way. Crossing the Line Sport is a charity which I've been linked with for several years now. It's not just an Australian charity; it's an international charity. Its prime focus is to do with elite athletes, to help them transition from their elite career to life after. But of course, as it has happened in the old pyramid effect, you've got the elite athlete like that at the top. They have partners, friends, and families who are impacted by how they handle transition as well. And through all that, mental health becomes, again, another major issue. So my link to crossing the line in sport is via the mental health side. One of the great things we've had, crossing the line, have managed through my VRAAM experience to bring a number of elite athletes and sports types here, where we've spoken to them, chatted to them. So we very much use this as a platform for mental health, as much as me using it as a way to prepare for RAM. And just hearing the exchanges from athletes who have come, and even some of them who have just called in, it's pretty touching when you get, former Wallaby Rugby Union captains and Tour de France riders, Olympic rowers who I reported on, and they're calling in to wish you support. And I know each one of those guys have had their own struggles, and it shows that between humans can really still bond well if they just keep their minds open and are willing to listen to each other. So it's a bit of a broad answer there, Lee. Sorry, but that's the overriding sort of driving force for me. One of them, obviously.
When you got the agenda, there's the website there. If anybody wants to learn more or even make a donation, crossingthelinessport.com. Pretty simple to remember. And how's the fundraising going for you?
Oh, look, the bucket's never full enough. There'll always be more, but we're finding that with the flow of people coming through, particularly on the weekend. So we're just at the start of another weekend, and with this being the last weekend of VRAAM, we're pretty confident. I think the most important thing is the awareness, though. If you can really reinforce the awareness, get people to talk, you equate dollars with awareness. I've always been a big believer in the awareness factor is the first thing, because that can be everlasting. A dollar is great and does make an impact, but a lifetime of awareness can last for generations.
Okay, very well. And Ashley Gebby is asking, is the climbing of VRAAM similar to that of the real event? Seems to be lots of climbing.
Well, actually, I can tell you, having not done RAM yet, I hope it's not similar to RAM. But I think it's about 20,000 metres more of climbing in VRAAM than in RAM. But hey, I'm not underestimating RAM at all. I totally respect RAM and as much as I ever did beforehand. So I've never been one for sort of getting into comparing events too much, because they are different, and that it may be a difference. And both events, I would imagine, have different challenges in their own way. So, but I know there's a lot of climbing, and a lot of the rides that we do, a lot of them just end with, they're more like mountain time trials. And then there's another mountain time trial and another one. And then you go, my gosh, you haven't got those long descents to sort of recover. But that's the challenge. I guess you got to be aware of the route as well. I guess that's the lesson, to study the route that you're going to ride. That's probably another thing I've learned.
Well, listen, there's a photographer back there shooting some pictures. Is he a part of the crew?
Yeah, that's Troy. He's a photographer. I've got to be wary of him. I'll tell you, I'm glad you pointed that, because he sometimes takes pictures of me without me knowing, and now I know
he's back there. And
Troy's actually, he's our medico as well. He works as a paramedic. And if I can put a shout out to the paramedics, if that's okay, Lee, around the world, because they're the front line. One of the front liners out there helping people, and they really, handle things, obviously really traumatic, tragic situations really calmly. So Troy there, he's one of those guys. So thanks to all the paramedics.
You tell him that if he's got a good shot of your setup here with us on, we'd like to have a copy of that.
Okay, I'll let Troy know.
We might use it for promotion sometime.
Although we'll probably have my ass in there.
We're all a part of the family here, folks. It doesn't really matter. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Tom Fanning, who's in here, and John Hoopengarner, my buddy up there on the other corner of Ohio. And he's helped us here on the show a number of times. How you doing, John? Say something. And again, I want to remind you, I cannot see everybody that might be watching. So if you're watching either on Facebook or YouTube, just go down there to the comments sections, just say hi so we know you're here. We'll be glad to shout out to you. And Chris says that VRAAM is tougher on climbing, no doubt. Jim, what have you got on your mind?
Basically, just curious. Rupert, have you done a lot of trainer riding before this, or is this really your first time long period on trainers?
Sorry, Jim, I lost the beginning of that question.
Basically, have you done a lot of training riding before this, or have it mainly been outside?
Oh yeah, I think I got most of that. I was training for VRAAM. Obviously, I was training for VRAAM up until it got officially cancelled. You know, when there was doubt, I thought I'd rather keep on the program. Obviously, that was principally on the road until it's definitely cancelled. I would have hated to go to VRAAM and lament not having used every week. But then, as soon as it was cancelled and VRAAM came up as an option, I also had to get used to doing more work on the home trainer. I didn't do anything on the rollers as such, but the home trainer, and there was a mad rush for home trainers out of bike shops. So that was a race in itself to get hold of one.
Yeah.
And then getting used to the monotony or the apparent monotony. That is a key serious element of these type of events. And you have to get pretty imaginative. I mean, I wouldn't say I was that imaginative. Probably pretty simple, really. I made sure I had a laptop with Netflix. I had my Spotify files updated. And that was basically it, really.
That's cool. Yeah, I know trainers can be monotonous as they go.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see whether I get onto the trainer next week. I doubt it. I think next week I won't go anywhere near a trainer.
There you go.
Got a question, Rupert. Are you going to stop at the end of 12 days, or are you going to try to go all the way to Annapolis?
I'm going to stop at 11 p.m. I know this has been a discussion point. I've got a very important work meeting on the Monday, anyway. The next day, regarding a book I'm working on. But one of my principal purposes was to get 12 days of hard riding, and to see what I can do in those 12 days. So, my mindset, once I committed to VRAAM and started racing, it was around 12 days. But, it's great that the option's there that the roads are still open for people to go to 14 days or whatever it takes to finish the course, So everyone has their decision. I don't think there's any right or wrong. Everything's, everyone has a purpose. Some people, may have to go. Other people may have to go to work on the Monday. So, anyway, I'm not making any judgment on that. Just that's the reason why I'm riding out to 11 p.m. Sydney time for the finish of VRAAM.
Okay, well, I think it's very nice of Full Gas or whoever does this to allow it to remain open, so that some people, I know there are people who want to complete it. Rupert, It's been good to have you with us and talk to us a little bit. We're going to let you get back to your concentrating on your business of riding. Want to thank all those of you watching on YouTube and on Facebook. Jim, you got anything more before we leave you'd like to talk to him about?
No, I just basically want to say keep going and finish strong, and we're glad that you guys got this together so quickly. It works really well.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Lee. And if I could just wish my best to everybody else who's still riding out there, and hope you all have a strong finish, and to the support crews behind those people, all the best and well done for supporting the riders as much as you have, and enjoy, an achievement and being a part of something that was a first time event. Yeah, sure, there's going to be areas that can be looked at as to how it may have been done better or differently, but first time events are always, they're first time events, and you never know how one thing's going to work. And whatever happens, you played a part in some in the history of ultra distance riding. So enjoy that for what it is, and all the best for your recovery.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for being with us. It's been great to get to know you, Rupert, and we wish you well with your charitable work. I think that's extremely important. Again, you can learn more about it at crossingthelinessport.com, as you see there on the screen. And hang around a little bit. We're going to just sign off here in a moment. We'll be right back. Okay. Well, thank you, Rupert, and thanks, of course, to Jim, and thank you all of you who are watching this other version of the Ohio Ram Show. We're going to be back together, Jim and I, in about 2 hours. We're going to go back to the Isle of Guernsey, where we're going to meet with Hoppo again to talk with him, see how he's doing. And that will be at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's 1 o'clock in the morning, Universal Time, 2 o'clock in the morning for Hoppo, though in Guernsey, British summertime. And you'll have to figure that out for your own time zone. We'd be glad to have you with us then. So with that, we're going to say goodbye.